Good afternoon, everybody. We've had a good day today. It's the 20th of May, 2020. Another exciting day for me. Didn't do much at all, really. Just watched a bit of TV. Hanging for the rugby league to come back on. All you Parramatta fans out there, I'm sure you're the same. Going to be our year. Shout out to James Moody. Bunnies for the spoon. It's been an interesting few weeks, actually. The topic today, I'm going to get a little bit controversial. Talk about the that virus that's going around. Coronavirus or something. And the vaccine that everyone is waiting for. I'm going to read this for you, and then I'll have a little talk about it. Scientists at the University of Oxford, UK, say that a possible vaccine for COVID-19 could be ready in September, which is months earlier than was originally planned. Researchers are hoping to get emergency approval from regulators, which would allow them to make millions of vaccines by the fall. Oxford vaccines that were effective over the last year involved trials on a type of monkey. Oxford scientists hope to conduct thousands of clinical trials in the coming weeks. However, scientists are not sure that humans have the same immunity as monkeys. Sometimes it takes years to develop a vaccine and to make it available for patients. In case of a vaccine for COVID-19, health officials have suggested that it could take between 12 to 18 months. I'm not going to get too controversial and talk about the actual virus itself. But there's been an issue in Australia recently about a rugby league player not wanting to get the influenza vaccine, which is common these days. A lot of people get it. People I know get it. It apparently helps them not get the flu each year. I went to the doctor and I was there with my wife and my daughter, and they both got the flu shot, which I accept, that's okay. The doctor looked at me and said, do you want to get the flu shot? And I was like, what for? I've never, I'm not scared of the flu. I'm not going to die. People might think I'm a bit stupid, but I've never really been sick from the flu and I don't think it's going to kill me. So why would I get a vaccine or a vaccination? Anyway, the doctor sort of looks at you and sort of makes you feel a bit guilty for not getting it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, back to the rugby league. So this guy, the rugby league wants to start their competition again in Australia, and the government has come out and said if you don't get the flu shot, then you cannot play. I understand the situation here at the moment, but when governments start to force these types of things on people, it can become a little bit dangerous, and I can understand a little bit how people are upset and getting worried about governments trying to control us. I'm not going to go that far. I mean, I don't have a problem with vaccinations for kids, measles and these types of diseases or infections, they can kill kids pretty quickly. But my point about a flu, I don't think it's that dangerous. And I think from what we've seen around the world, I've spoken to a lot of people from Italy, a lot of people in Spain. I've spoken to a few, not a lot, and my sample size is quite small, but they think that having to get a vaccination for this is against our rights. So I was having a bit of a discussion with a friend, and doesn't really get very far because I believe this side and he believes the other side. We're not really going to change each other's minds. So my concern basically is if they find this vaccination for the coronavirus, are they going to force us all to get it? And their way of saying forcing can be coercion, which has been a word these days. So they said back to the rugby league player, they said, look, if you want to play rugby league, you need to get this flu shot. He's like, why. The flu doesn't kill everyone, right? But anyway, they have their reasons for saying that. And he said, no, I don't want to do it. And okay, it's your choice then. But you're not going to get paid and you're going to lose your job. So in other words, it's not his decision, because you have to choose your family and you've got to choose money over this type of belief that you have. So when we all start going back to work, if suddenly my boss comes out and says, Joe, you can't come and teach English unless you have a coronavirus shot, I'm like, why are we actually getting it? They say, oh, so you don't spread it around and you can be a spreader. And I'm like, well, my understanding is if someone's worried about dying from the coronavirus, which I'm not at all, I'm a young, healthy 40-year-old dude, why should I get it? If you're worried about getting it, why don't you get a vaccination yourself and then you won't die? I'm just dumbfounded by some people's thinking that we all should get this vaccination and then we'll all be safe, which I think I'm safe anyway. And the facts are that people under 60 don't die. And that's the figures that have come out. So if people are worried about getting this coronavirus, then maybe you should go and get the vaccination. That probably won't work anyway, because most flu shots are only 50% effective. And that's a fact that I've been told by doctors too. They're like, oh, this strain doesn't work this year and, this. But it all comes back to who's manufacturing the vaccination. And that's where I think a lot of people are upset about, because if they're forcing us to get these vaccinations, then who's going to make money out of it? So why are they trying to make it? I understand, in your country you have a choice to do it, but if I want to travel to Japan, for example, and suddenly I say, oh, well, the government says you can't travel unless you get a coronavirus shot, then that limits my ability and my life. I can't do what I want to do for something that some people think is dangerous, I could understand, if I went to the airport, got a test, and it said I didn't have the coronavirus, what's stopping me from traveling overseas? I'm not going to spread it because I don't have it. But if they're saying, oh, you got to get this shot, maybe get a wristband, then where's that going? And it all leads back to business and people making money out of the vaccination. Anyway, just wanted to throw a few things out there because, some of the students are interested in this type of thing, a discussion. And I think a healthy discussion is being able to express the way you feel without getting upset at each other. And people have different ideas on things. Like that guy on TV, someone burst in. Remember when he was on the BBC? She'd probably get the coronavirus shot. But yeah, it's good. It's a healthy discussion to have, because this is what is happening in our lives at the moment. So I will be having a controversial type discussion with students who join on these types of things, and we can all get and we can express our opinions in English, and it's a good way to practice, because I think a lot of the students get stuck in certain topics: travel, food, your boyfriend, this beer tastes great, can I get your phone number? And you've got to really challenge yourself. And if you want to express yourself, it's good that you can prepare and be ready to talk about these types of things so that you can let people know how you feel. And online, we can't get too aggressive because we can just mute each other. But this is just something that I thought I'd bring up, and we can talk about this on one of these controversial chat days. Anyway, see how we go. And I'll put the links down here for the script that I read out. It's pretty short. It's just talking about the clinical trials. If you want the script of what I've been rambling on about, you can get the closed captions down here. It should be able to pick up the the very fine Australian accent that I have. But yeah, it's something that we should be able to discuss. And I think as an English learner, you want to be able to do that. So Yeah, probably next Wednesday. I'll let you know when we're going to do this one. But enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe. Peace.